Hi, we're Group B, and we're here today to present the proposal of the film, The London and Accounting. My name is Chris.
My name is Alan.
I am Qiqi.
I'm Daisy.
So the premise of the movie is based on a true story of a well-respected CPA who became a partner in a large public accounting firm, and the events transpired that led to the fraud and the ethical dilemma that the movie is going to be based on. In the movie, we will show the ethical dilemma, those influences, and this pitch will highlight 4 additional reasons why the movie should be made.
The first reason why we thought about is we want to show the fraud triangle. We know that every single fraud is associated with these 3 important elements or factors. The first factor that we thought about is the opportunity. We wanted to see what kind of opportunity Scott London had to commit such a fraud. And we know that he was a well-respected partner in one of the biggest firms in the United States by the name of KPMG. So obviously he had good resources and good amount of information that he could use in order to commit such a fraud. The second factor of this triangle is the rationalization part. The rationalization comes down to the point that why and how Scott London justifies this kind of fraud to himself. So we know that his intention was to help his friend, and this is basically how he justifies this fraud in his mind, that maybe it is okay because my intention is pure and I'm just trying to help my friend. But probably the most important factor of this triangle is the incentive, motivation, or the pressure part of this triangle. We know that Scott London, as we mentioned earlier, was a partner in one of the biggest firms. So obviously his salary was really high. So he did not commit this fraud just for compensation part. Maybe there was other factors and other reasons involved that we don't know. What kind of motivators might have triggered this kind of fraud? Maybe pressures could include addiction to gambling, to shopping, drugs, or any other things like maybe reasons to show good performance, results, or just the thrill of being able to get away with something. Who knows? But maybe there are other items or other factors that we should refer to.
Okay, as the Alan mentioned, London, a KPMG partner, he just do the stupid thing. He passed the sensitive information of his client to his friend after this scandal was revealed, and then the stock prices of his client just sharply decreased. As a result, many investors in the capital market, they just suffer a big loss. So nowadays, many American people, they buy stock in the markets. They hope that this stock can make them earn a better life. So I think many audience, they will be interested in knowing that if such scandal happen, and how much will they lose, and if the scandal just happened to one specific capital security, and whether will this affect other stock. So I think they will have a big interest. That is another reason why we want to make it.
So as Alan and Kiki have already discussed, the movie should be made because of the 3 fraud risks involved in the movie. So one of the areas that we wanted to discuss was the incentive. We knew London was a well-respected member of his community. He was a partner in a Big 4 accounting firm, had been compensated for his services, and probably was a substantial salary. So we knew that money probably is not going to be a motivating factor. According to the case, his motives was just to help a friend, and the payment that he received in exchange for those tips wasn't really substantial, and it doesn't point to the fact that, again, money is a reason for his actions. So the movie is going to really expand on that incentive piece, and as Alan mentioned, there are plenty of avenues that we could go down and make the movie more marketable for audiences. And that incentive piece for London to commit this fraud is going to be the key focal point of the movie, and it's going to really draw audiences and really hook the audience's attention.
One movie we want to bring up here is The Wolf of Wall Street, which also has the story of finance, crime, and fraud. The movie did very well at box office and was nominated in Academy Awards. We believe our story will be better than The Wolf of Wall Street because in The Wolf of Wall Street there is minimum character development. However, like my teammate mentioned, our movie has multiple angles that we can later elaborate it on, which makes it more interesting and more juicy story. We're going to experience the dilemma in the real life, and we are going to discover how and why Mr. London commit such stupid crime.
So we've identified the ideal cast for the movie, and we feel that this cast will help create a buzz for the film, which will ultimately generate more revenue dollars for the film, which obviously is one of the performance metrics that we're looking for. So for the lead role as Scott London, we think the obvious choice should be Leonardo DiCaprio, not only because of his good work on The Wolf of Wall Street, but because of his outgoing personality and his ability to generate audiences in all demographics. George Clooney would be his friend that Scott London provided his tips to. George Clooney we feel would be a good fit because he's an older, more experienced, and also the gentleman in the actual story of Scott London was a business owner at the jewelry shop. So we feel, and also the SEC lead investigator for the story would be Johnny Depp. The two CEOs of the well-known and prominent publicly traded companies that were involved directly with the scandal would be led by Meryl Streep and Jennifer Lawrence. And those are also two very well-known actresses who are very persuasive and can be portrayed as very business savvy, especially in the Hollywood and acting. So those are our ideal candidates for the roles in the film.
I think it really helps to generate more revenue for this movie, and that should be considered as one of the good reasons that why we should make this movie.
Right, and also to support that, there are a couple other movies out there that we will use as sort of a benchmark. Boiler Room, which is one, is based on a true story as well, that had investment fraud in it, and also Margin Call, which is based on the economic downturn in the United States. So we find that this true story of Scott London will make an excellent movie for the studios. Thank you. Oh,
so in conclusion, I would say that we came up with like 3-4 different reasons that why we should make this movie. And we think that since it's based on a true story that happened recently, right? So we should make this movie. And also, we thought making this movie will bring a public awareness that why still there's so many frauds out there and why such a financial scandal can happen. But probably the most important lesson out of this movie or making this movie would be lesson of integrity and the honesty. That how lack of integrity and honesty in working, especially in an industry like public accounting, can hurt everyone from employees, stakeholders, stockholders, and general public. So we thought that this movie will be really, really successful and helpful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.